Happy Monday, students. We are rolling in our reading response. I went through all of your responses on Padlet and as well as the flip video from the previous week, and enjoyed reading all your responses. I know that interestingly, one of my classes really seemed to like the story of an hour, my online classes that is, and another one overall didn't like it, so I thought that was an interesting thing. My in-person class enjoyed reading it. So it isn't to everybody's taste, and that's what you're going to find anytime you do literature or really any kind of reading. So this week you have a new story to read. It's called A Rose for Emily, and it is much longer than the story of an hour. But my experience is that most students, over the years that I've taught it, and I've taught it quite a few times, really do enjoy reading A Rose for Emily. So I'm hoping that you will too. So just as I promised last week, I was going to put a poem for you to read if you want. You don't have to read it if you don't want to read it. This week I chose William Blake's The Sick Rose, written in 1789. William Blake is an interesting poet. He is sometimes said to be one of the early pre-romantic poets, and he did a lot of illustrations. So I included one of his the illustrated version of this poem. So read it through if you enjoy it. Great. If not, just skip it. So for this week, you are going to do a second guided reading response. Your work this week, just as last week, is to read through your story and try to pick apart some of the literary elements. So you want to go back to those literary element cheat sheets that I asked you to look at for Story of an Hour, to know and understand your terms like symbolism and metaphor and simile and allusion and all of that. And I'm going to go ahead and remind you where you can find those. We have some new terms to learn that are going to be they're terms that are in the questions, the discussion board questions you need to answer. So you need to know what a protagonist of a story is. It's the main character, usually has the sympathy and the support of the audience. Antagonist is usually a character who opposes the protagonist. The scapegoat is someone who bears blame for others. And then Southern Gothic, which you may remember from your scavenger hunt, was a term I asked you to look up an article on. It's a style of writing practiced by many writers of the American South whose stories are set in that region are characterized by grotesque, macabre, or fantastic incidents. So Faulkner definitely leans into Southern Gothic in this story. Guided steps are just as they were last week. I have a PowerPoint on A Rose for Emily. It will really help you if you go through that PowerPoint. You can go through it first, you can go through it after, or both. Then I really recommend you print your story to be able to annotate, take notes as you read and listen, especially this story. It is a little bit longer. Again, my recommendation is you read the story through once on your own, then follow along the reading while you listen to the audio provided. I have a worksheet for you to answer questions, and that'll help you understand the story for the online discussion. And again, like I said, the announcement earlier, these online discussions are really the only way I have of knowing how much time you're spending with the story. And so I really want you to think about your responses, because that is, we don't have a quiz in this online class like my in-person class, and we aren't spending, like my in-person class, 150 minutes a week, 3 50-minute class periods discussing the story. So this is my only way of seeing how you do, and I really do expect you to do the best and try to give some thoughtful answers. And remember, you are going to have to write a literary analysis essay on one of these 4 stories that I have for your readings. So doing the worksheets and doing good online discussion can help you to get ideas for that literary analysis paper, which I will open that up at the end of this week. All right, so your online discussion this week is we're gonna go back to Blackboard and use discussion board. I want to try all 3 means of doing online virtual discussions. We tried Flip, we tried Padlet, and we're going to try discussion board. And then I'm going to ask you to do a little survey to see which one you found to be most engaging and easy to use, and kind of I'm going to come up with a list of questions for you to rate those 3 discussion board forums. All right, so you're going to do your discussion board, which will be due Thursday on the 25th, and then your reading response journal will be due on the 28th. All right, so let me go ahead and get over to our reading response. Okay, so here are those cheat sheets. We're here at the reading response unit. Here are those sample reading responses. If you really feel confused, you really want to read through these things and see what other students have done in the past. I have, I think, 3 of them. Yes, 3 of them here. And you want to look through these and understand how to write them. Remember, you're not writing them as bulleted points or numbers or little short choppy paragraphs. You really want to work on that a little bit. Here are the cheat sheets. Here are those questions again. All your reading responses, all 4 of them are going to use the same 7 questions. So then we come on down. Here is our Rose for Emily instructions. It's the same thing that was at the announcement page. And if we flip into what's in that folder, here's the PowerPoint. Here's the PDF of the story. Here is, it's a video, but it's really an audio recording. It's from YouTube. On the story that you can follow along. Here are those discussion questions that you need to answer. And here is our virtual attendance assignment for the week. It's the class discussion on A Rose for Emily. Just as before, you have 4 topics. You want to answer your 4 topics using that rubric that I had for last week. I'll attach it here as well. And then respond to at least 1 classmate per topic. So you're going to have 4 original posts and 4 responses, 4 replies. And then here's where you submit your reading response next on Sunday, on the 28th. All right, any questions? Give me an email.